One thing I haven't been able to talk a lot about, but is a key component of my platform, is indigenization. Indigenization of our infrastructure, development, as well as governance. And so what this is about for me is about implementing the 94 calls to action from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It concerns me that our current council puts a lot of emphasis on listening to folks, listening to our Indigenous counterparts on Truth and Reconciliation Day. We have listened. We listened for 6 years as survivors re-traumatize themselves so that we could hear this truth. And now they're looking for us to act. These are not listening points. These are action items. And so when you look at that document, you can't get very far without finding and hearing about the importance of language, and how, what I hear from survivors all the time is that despite all odds and despite the fact that there was a concerted effort to make sure that they weren't, they're still here. And seeing themselves in our communities is so important, and seeing their traditions and their traditional language is important. That's why I was really surprised to see that all of the wayfinding signs, the money that we invested in really nice signage around town, didn't have any Indigenous language. I understand there's great work being done by the Trail Society and folks like that to have Indigenous signage on our trails and in our pathways, but that's not the only place those aren't the only places that the land was stolen. I think that there needs to be an entire committee on the city. I would like to hire an Indigenous liaison. Revelstoke has recently hired somebody to take on that role, to liaise with our folks in the surrounding communities, so that we're hearing from them what they want, and that we can make good on these actions in a really good way. And I think that's really important in terms of governance. I just hear from so many people, I feel very uncomfortable being a white settler in politics and participating in what is a colonial government structure. And I'd like to bring Indigenous friends along with me on that path, but they just feel that it's so incredibly unsafe in so many ways, in the ways that we do things, in the hierarchical structures. So while our system is the best that we have right now, I really see myself as a placeholder for us to get to a place where we can deconstruct that system and walk a path together. So that's what I mean when I say indigenization of our way of viewing the world. I strongly believe that we were meant to walk this path together, and am committed to getting us to a place that we are.